The Cinderella that you never wanted, and I've said this for 365 days, 52 weeks, the Cinderella that you never wanted was Ohio State last year. I believe they were a top 8, top 9 seed. They played in the first round playoff. They didn't even win their conference championship, and they ran the table. That's your Cinderella. This is the problem with the college football playoff. It's not a charity case. It's not to give everybody an opportunity to win a national championship. The core thing that people need to realize when talking about college football is there is not 130 teams all playing for the national championship. If you ever are blessed, wherever you may stand right now, you can go find your closest Division I school that isn't in the Power Four. They're all across the country, and go see what their facilities look like. And then a hop and a skip away, you could go see one of those Power Four programs and try to tell me that they are playing for the exact same trophy. Let's use University of Alabama. And then you go to University of Alabama, Birmingham, and go compare those football programs. They do not have the same goals. They do not have the same expectations to go win national championships. Now, you may say, well, that's just because of the level of the program. Exactly my point. Because in college football for years, it never was just national championship or bust. These lower level programs were trying to get to these mid-tier bowls, which was the best that they could do. And maybe on an off chance, you could be that next Northern Illinois or Boise State that gets to a BCS bowl and really get to test your waters again, or test your skill set and ability against these high level programs without having to convince yourself or be delusional in the sense that you should be playing for a national championship. My point being, last year with Boise State, they earned the right to be in the top 12. They were seen as a top 12 program. Not many people were going to bat an eye unless you were a huge group of 5 hater. This year, you cannot point to a group of 5 team and say, yeah, they should be in a tournament with the top 12 programs in the entire country because they have a chance to win the national championship. Not a soul on this earth that is serious believes that Tulane, North Texas, James Madison should win the national championship or have a chance to win the national championship. There may be people that make the comparison to college basketball. Well, Cinderellas happen all the time. Cinderellas will not exist in college football, or at least the Cinderellas that you think will exist. The Cinderella that you never wanted, and I've said this for 365 days, 52 weeks, the Cinderella that you never wanted was Ohio State last year. I believe they were a top 8, top 9 seed. They played in the first round playoff. They didn't even win their conference championship, and they ran the table. That's your Cinderella. Your Cinderella will not be Tulane. Your Cinderella will not be James Madison. So why are we giving them a free handout to the college football playoff while holding out teams that play difficult enough schedules that have earned the right to be in the contest for the national championship? It's going to be so frustrating when we see, Duke and James Madison in the doomsday scenario for the ACC, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, the ACC could miss the entire college football playoff with the matchup of Duke versus Virginia. Now, Virginia, if they win the ACC, yeah, sure, go ahead, put them in the college football playoff. As much as we want to bash on Virginia, they've had a magical year, and frankly, they haven't gotten as much love as they probably deserve this year. But let's move forward. If Duke was to win that game, which they very much can, they're a talented team, even with 5 losses, we could see a 5-loss Duke team not make the college football playoff because it is your top 5 champions. Reporters get this wrong all the time. It's not ACC, Big 12, Big 10, and SEC. And then whoever wins the group of 5. That's what we assumed it would be like. The writing, the fine print says top 5 champions. We could see the American Athletic Conference and the Sun Belt, and the ACC's on the outside looking in, which is wild. You have to understand that's wild to think about. Because of how conference realignment has gone, it's wild. that the ACC would be on the outside looking in. And so my frustration isn't just with the group of five, because I've talked about it on this page before. You could go see me talk about how I think there should be a group of five playoff. Let's expand it a little bit. The auto bids idea is one that I understand the intent. I don't think it's what is necessary. Now, I just told you that we made the assumption that the top five group of five teams was automatically going to have the top four Power Four programs or conferences. I'm going to also bring up an assumption that if we got rid of the auto bids, we would still get the correct teams in. We don't need the barriers of, yes, you have to have the Big 12 champion. No, maybe you don't. Maybe the Big 12 champion shouldn't automatically make the playoff because they haven't really earned it. Now, should they get the boost of winning probably a quality matchup against another Big 12 team? Yeah, they probably will get into the playoff. Now, you may say this is just an excuse to get more Big 10 and SEC teams. Well, when you load up these conferences to be super conferences, even though I hate it, I hate everything that I'm talking about right now, but it's the world we live in. Yeah, they probably have a fair argument to make the playoff because they are playing much more difficult schedules. My last point, and this is the one that I can't really prove. I mean, I could prove it by showing you clips. The College Football Playoff Committee doesn't care. Now, I have the hottest take around the BCS that we should have more of a computerized system. Not saying you pluck the BCS from the 2000s and place it into 2025. That's not what I'm saying. But the playoff committee, you could pretty clearly tell they already rely on computerized rankings, or they rely on the AP poll. And we've talked about ad nauseum on this page and many other college football pages on how bad and flawed the AP poll is and how voters on that poll will not even explain their own takes. I don't want to go into my own process, guys. Florida should still be ranked. I mean, if you know, you know, but the committee doesn't care and they will not care. So they'll go to the easiest option. So they'll go to the AP poll. The AP poll doesn't care. And then when you go and compare the BCS rankings to the actual playoff rankings, you just realize we're in the same spot. It just took a roundabout way of getting there. These three problems, I think the group of five inclusion, unless they've absolutely earned it and made it into the top 12, like Cincinnati, like Boise State, the group of five should have their own playoff. The auto bids idea, in forcing teams in, forcing a square peg into a circle hole, immunity, just because we need inclusion. We need everyone to make it. No, you earn your right. It would get rid of so many issues. And the fact that the committee does not care is the root cause of it. And I get fired up about this because this is the best damn sport in the world, flaws and all. Is the calendar a problem? You're damn right. Is this coaching cycle a mess? You're damn right.